Barclays Center in Brooklyn, semifinal number 1, St. Joe's Dayton. Let's take a look at our starting lineups brought to you by Kubota. It's Newkirk, Brown, Oliva, Bembry, and Miles for St. Joe's. And on the Dayton side, Scucci, Kyle Davis, Charles Cook, Kendall Pollard, and Deshaun Pierre. And the big question mark was Kendall Pollard. And for more on his status, let's check in with Allie LaForce.
Thanks, Carter. That's right. Kendall Pollard has been
Number 400 for Phil Martelli.
And obviously Phil's a legend in Philadelphia, but he has a heck of a basketball team with 2 outstanding players, including the A10 Conference Player of the Year.
Semi-final number 1 from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Dayton has it first. It was an early 21-3 run yesterday, opening up a 20-point lead, never challenged by Richmond. So St. Joe's had to come back. Dayton led wire to wire. Looked like the Dayton team who won 9 straight was dominant midpoint of the conference season. Scucci Smith, first touch. Follow goes from Charles Cook.
Now, Charles Cook is the best athlete on Dayton's roster. And, you know, look, Kyle Davis is a freak athlete in his own right. Sometimes he doesn't play as athletic as he actually is.
Bembry's first look spins out.
That's the ISO spot at the elbow. That's where Bembry's office is located for St. Joe's.
An 11-3 run late for St. Joe's yesterday. Part of that come-from-behind win over GW. One of the big questions, GW bubble status. Here's Pollard attacking. Misses his first touch.
And Kendall Pollard's about 60-70%. So that's not the usual level of explosiveness.
Isaiah Miles misses.
And you saw Kyle Davis with an outstanding box out. Those are the plays that Archie Miller was talking to his team about. Pollard and Deshaun Pierre are really small forward and power forward, but in this lineup, much like last year, they're playing power forward and center.
9 to shoot. Here's Cook. Off the shot, fake. Boarded by Miles. Bembry, the junior from Charlotte via St. Patrick's School in New Jersey. Draws the defense, creates for Aaron Brown. Cold shooting start for both.
But you see that Bembry likes to pass as much as he likes to shoot. That's not normally the case for Conference Players of the Year.
Deshaun Pierre adds to the cold shooting start.
You know, in conference tournaments, they don't allow you to touch the basketballs until a half hour before the game. I don't understand that. They have a practice gym here. If you want to come in and get some shots up, you should be allowed to. But it's a universal rule, and of course that rule is enforced in the NCAA tournament as well.
And do you think that might contribute to the slow shooting start? An offensive foul called by Gary Prager.
It's got to, at least on some level, play a part. 1:30 local time game. 2 defenses that have been focused on the other team's attack.
Correction, no offensive foul. Step on the baseline, so just a turnover. But a 1 for 9 combined shooting start.
That's not pretty. All right. You want me to reiterate how bad it? You want me to be Debbie Downer and keep it, you know?
Yeah, sure. Well,
okay.
You play the role so well.
I do. I don't want to fall into that trap.
Sure.
Why was Gottlieb so negative? They went for 9!
And so speaking of, the basketball getting a little extra treat.
Good craftsman never blames his tools, although that basketball is not doing its job.
When you go to the rosin bag at this point.
Well, now those basketballs are more moisture absorbent, but sometimes you just got too much slime in the basketball. And they're new basketballs.
Shamar Newkirk setting up the Hawks into Bembry. Making 1 for 10 shooting start. Davis has the board.
He didn't even hit the rim.
Another nearly turnover. That's how Pollard gets his first bucket in a 4-0 start for Dayton.
And Kendall Pollard has long arms and really good hands. He needed all of that arm length in order to corral that basketball.
Newkirk draws a foul on Scoochie Smith.
This is a bad pass, a ball thrown behind him by Charles Cook, but he just kind of reaches, uses that long arms, plays through contact. And Kendall Pollard.
So Pollard, Allie talked about the knee injury that is lingering. He missed 17 days of practice during that stretch. So you have a key player out of your rotation even for practice.
They are undefeated when they have their entire allotment of scholarship play.
Oliva. Davis pulls it. St. Joe's 0 for 6. Kyle Davis, play on. St. Joe's a chance to push. Brown, more contact, offensive foul on Aaron Brown on the push-off.
Kyle Davis, we mentioned how good an athlete he is. He's undersized in this matchup against Brown. He beats Brown to the spot, sells it a little bit as he was off balance, and gets the call. I would not have called a foul, but that is generally called in college basketball.
Displacement, perhaps?
That was
one of the key phrases from J.D. Collins?
He was displaced. Now, he was displaced because he was off balance and he was on his shoulder, but he was displaced.
Pollard has 4 of Dayton's 6 as St. Joe's still looking for their first bucket, approaching the first official timeout. Newkirk, feet inside, and there finally from Isaiah Miles, the first basket for the Hawks.
And Isaiah Miles should have been, I thought, first team All-Atlantic 10, an outstanding scorer, and he's versatile as well.
Pollard fouled, timeout 6-2.
Now, a couple moments ago, it would have been hard to find a highlight. Thankfully, Kendall Pollard decided to fix all that. His second straight lay-in, and the Flyers off and running, off and in. So it would take someone, people on that committee to have seen St. Bonaventure play at the right time to say, yes, I believe they are tournament caliber, because in the A10 now, they're one of the co-champions of the league.
And by the way, Archie has been paying attention to your March commentary, because Coach Miller did specifically request, he said, tell Doug to stop referring to Dayton as a bubble team, please.
That's inaccurate.
I'm just relaying the
game of telephone. At one time, they had lost 3 of 5 before beating VCU at home. And I said, unless they want to play themselves out of the bubble, lose to VCU at home, lose early in Brooklyn. And then they would have lost, 5 of 7, and now they would have played their way on the bubble.
Just delivering the message from Coach Miller.
I got
Doug Gottlieb.
He's got myself.
Bembry, air ball late in the shot clock, boarded by Pollard. 1 for 8, St. Joe's. Scoochie Smith. Bembry.
Scoochie's had 2 good looks, both around and out.
Newkirk from the Bronx. Hooping in Brooklyn. Scoochie Smith also from the Bronx. You have Newkirk and Scoochie Smith. 2 point guards from the Bronx going at it. Kick out to Cook. Shavard Newkirk. Oliva slipping, swatted at the rim. Scoochie Smith, end-to-end for Dayton. Begins with defense. Scoochie Smith finishes. Flyers by 5. Isaiah Miles into Brown, taken away by Kyle Davis. Off the steal, Davis coast to coast. A block into a bucket, a steal into a bucket from Dayton's D. Aaron Brown answers.
Now Dayton confused who had Aaron Brown and who had the ball. Nobody had Shavar Newkirk, so you have to stop him from a layup. Brown gets the open 3.
Smith off the curl, bump, play on. to save it for Miles. Isaiah Miles faces up. And a foul on the rebound.
These are the type of plays that Dayton has to make. Kyle Davis, undersized, doesn't allow himself to be posted, so then he steals the basketball, pushes in transition with nobody back. But then St. Joe's comes racing back down the floor. Nobody's guarding. Who's got Shavar Newkirk? The answer was no one. And so Aaron Brown, the beneficiary, as he stands wide open, yawns and knocks down a three.
Only made 3 of the game for either side. Foul was on Pollard, his first. Isaiah Miles facing up. Big man from Baltimore.
Well, this is their best lineup. And Isaiah Miles can play some center, some power forward.
Miles, the A10 most improved player this year. Huge in the February 7 meeting. Had a double-double and 5 assists.
He gives them fits because he can make those jump shots.
Cook. Dayton now 0 for 4 from 3. 0 for 5 from 3. Newkirk bumped by Crosby, his first.
Well, you mentioned Miles. As he just sets a little curl screen for Bembry, steps out. Then Deshaun Pierre doesn't even put a hand up. It's way too easy for Miles.
Guy who has now over 1,000 career points. His freshman year, he played in 12 games. Scored 27 points his freshman year. Ends up with 1,000 for his career. Second team All A10. And again, the most improved player in the league.
Well, it's a great culture at St. Joe's. And he's got a tremendous work ethic. And you can see that guy plays 12 minutes a game as freshman. A lot of players are transferring. I'm done here. I'm going to go somewhere else. Not Isaiah Miles. He stuck it out, and he's been rewarded. I felt like he should have been first team All-League.
Playing 35 minutes a game as a senior, so making up for that.
Great play by Newkirk.
Setting up Bembry for 3. Crosby clears it. Double dribble in the backcourt on John Crosby. So Isaiah Miles, Zeke, the senior from Baltimore, Midford Mill High School. And look at the numbers, 2.3 points per game. This is how you get to most improved player.
But also, it's impressive on how quickly he's gotten to 1,000 points, considering how few points he scored. That's hard to do when you're essentially doing it in 2 years.
He scored more in his senior year than he had the previous 3 years combined. Bembry, and one, count it, with a foul on McElvain. DeAndre starting to feel it, even at 11.
DeAndre Bembry's afro has its own Twitter.
One reason only, and that is so his team can win. He can speak to them because he listens to them, so they respect him for that. He also says he reminds him of a Russell Westbrook, and I asked Bembry if he agrees, and he said, yeah, but Westbrook is a little more consistent than I am.
And talking about that selflessness, Allie, I mean, we chatted with DeAndre, and what's DeAndre interested in talking about? Not A10 Player of the Year, but pumping Isaiah Miles and the year that Isaiah's had and the recognition he's got.
And listen, the Dayton coaching staff thinks Miles is tremendous as well. But there's respect, mutual respect around the league for the way in which he not only carries himself, but the way in which DeAndre Bembry plays.
You know the other comparison that Phil Martelli had?
Yep.
Bruce Bowen.
I like the Bruce Bowen one a little bit better than Russell Westbrook.
Now, DeAndre is probably more likely to relate to Russell Westbrook than Bruce Bowen.
Why is that?
Bruce is old school at this point.
He would be old school, but I would say in terms of style of play. And frankly, he does many things better than Bruce. Bruce Bowen was not the type of passer that Bembry is. Became a very good corner three-point shooter and an outstanding defender on championship teams. But I don't see the Russell Westbrook thing. That one's a stretch to me.
Davis resets, 10 to shoot. Scoochie Smith. Pollard has to heave it. Bembry pulls it.
And Scoochie missed Deshaun Pierre cutting wide open to the basket.
Miles. Tough rebound. Demery rejected again inside. Charles Cook gets the block. Scucci pushes, finds Pierre through contact. Deshaun Pierre finishes. That ends an 8-0 run. Kimball with 9 to shoot. Miles to pop it now. Pierre pulls it. The teams are combined 1 for 13 from 3.
Two very good defensive teams.
Making 1 for 14 from 3.
And some of the shot selection hasn't been the greatest. Well, there are times in which Dayton can struggle to score. And part of it has been the constant, almost turnstile of their roster with the injuries and first half of the season suspension from Deshaun Pierre.
Bembry teed up by Charles Cook. Holler pushes into the paint. Offensive foul.
Now Kendall Pollard just couldn't stop himself.
Charge drawn by Kimball.
It's like me in the morning if I even drive by a Starbucks. Just can't stop myself. Oh, he runs over Kimball. Kimball takes the shot.
With room?
No, I don't do the coffee thing, man. No, I mean, it's espresso. There's no room there. Espresso, soy milk, chai, a little bit of everything. Dirty chai, actually.
Okay.
I like it really filthy dirty. The chai.
Let that one stand alone.
Why, you're with room, guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honey, actually. The Bill Murray. Boarded by Deshaun Pierre. Perfect time to tell you to never miss a moment of college basketball with the CBS Sports app. Every play, every score, every game, every highlight. Right as they happen, download the CBS Sports app now.
Listen to CBS Sports Radio and your CBS Sports app. Very good afternoon show.
Objectively stated. Miles. Isaiah Miles off the inbound to put St. Joe's back up. Cook attacks. Too easy for Cook. All 7 Dayton buckets have come in the paint. Back and forth now between St. Joe's and Dayton. Dimmery in the paint. Up the window. James Dimmery. Huge in the quarterfinal win over GW. 15 points, 8 rebounds off the bench. Count the bucket. Scucci Smith and the foul.
Now, Scucci Smith continues to get the ball and push in transition to his strong right hand. Actually, statistically, he's not a great finisher at the hoop. It seems like he should be, but here he just drives in, draws contact against Kimball, and gets the N1.
Scucci from the Bronx, Brother Rice High School, which is no more. Think about that great Elite 8 run. It was his freshman year. Scucci played 117 of 120 minutes during that Elite 8 run. So we didn't do a whole lot of this.
That's
taking a break.
Even last year they had 6 guys for most of the season. And that's just a player's dream. Can't take me out.
Kimball, goaltend. McIlvain got it. Above the cylinder.
This is Steve McIlvain, as he does not move laterally well enough at this point in his career. They attack him on the ball screen. McIlvain has to get all the way out and stay out. Instead, he just opens up the gate for Kimball. And Kimball, I like the way St. Joe's plays a little bit better with Kimball at the point as opposed to Newkirk.
Why?
He's just more of a true point. He has a little bit better feel. Newkirk a little bit more of a jet, has a second gear that Kimball doesn't have. They do fit together well in that they each have separate skill sets.
Bembry travels, sending us to another official timeout. 18 all between St. Joe's and Dayton. Brooklyn, New York, Barclays Center.
Of course, his dad splits time between Dayton and Tucson, Arizona, where he gets to see his son, Sean. What an incredible game Arizona lost last night to Oregon. Down 7 with 21 seconds to go. Came back and forced overtime. Going to lose in overtime.
I never saw John's team, but those who did say an elite coach.
Well, and you watch his two sons play and coach, and you know that they were tough, and they played the right way. And having been to both of their practices, it's like a coaching clinic. It's working on the little things, and the little things are what makes both of his sons' teams outstanding. He's got good hair too, really good silver fox hair, very jazz.
Speaking of Bob McKillop and Davidson, will be here later.
Another
today.
silver fox. You know, Bob McKillop, one of the great knots in all of Tideham. Really, you'll take a second peek today.
That's a good tease for our second semifinal.
Will Davidson pull the upset and steal somebody's win? We don't know, but Bob McKillop will have a great knot on his tie.
Scoochie Smith from outside. Well, he said go to the paint until it starts falling, and Scoochie, the first 3 of the game for Dayton. Demery on the wing for St. Joe's from the elbow. Boarded by McElvain. Smith resets. Williams for 3. Back-to-back threes for Dayton after the 0-for-8 start. Back into the hands of Bembry, the A10 player of the year, on to Papa now. The senior from Senegal, air ball. Dayton flying it in. A 9-2 Dayton run. Ten to shoot. Smith around the screen from McElvain. Off the window. Demery pushes. Demery attacks coast to coast. Davis brings it right back. Swatted inside by Papa now. Kimball.
That's a big man to shoot over if you're Kimball.
Smith to Williams. Now the board. Bembry's going to slow the pace with 5 minutes to go in the half. You see the lack of production lately for St. Joe's. Miles ends the drought with a 3. 9 first half points for Isaiah Miles. Cook to the high post. 3 seconds in the paint. Charles Cook.
Now, this is the versatility of Bembry. This is called a staggered double high ball screen. And all Miles does is he comes and no one stays with him. And it's the unselfishness and leadership of Bembry in which he doesn't force it, makes a simple pass, and finds his teammate, the most improved player in the Atlantic 10, for a wide open 3.
So what's the difference between when St. Joe's offense is working and when it's not working?
Well, I think you always have to play through Bembry. And I think that his ability to play off a ball screen with his size is really important. I think it's not working when they get stuck in those ISOs and he tries to force it, or Miles tries to force it, and there's too many bodies in his way. They're much better when the ball is, or at least when the ball is moving from one side of the floor to the other.
1-1 here for Miles. Bracken Week presented by Kubota continues tonight. Doubleheader Women's Conference Championships at 6 Eastern. It's Loyola taking on Army in the Patriot League, followed by Old Dominion versus Middle Tennessee in Conference USA on CBS Sports Network.
And ODU's men got a win last night as well over Western Kentucky. Chance to earn a bid.
What about Miles following the free throw miss? Gets the board, the bucket, and another trip to the line.
And that's just unacceptable if you're Dayton. You have to secure the rebound. And with Archie Miller saying, hey, he was in early, ball hits the rim, he was not in early. Nobody checked the shooter.
13 points, 6 rebounds in the first half for the senior from Baltimore, Isaiah Miles.
Remember, you can't leave until the ball hits the rim. That was a perfect replay. Great shot, fellas. You can see he did not leave until the ball hit the rim.
9-0 run for St. Joe's. Pierre misses. Bembry rebounds and pushes. Kick out. Bembry from Bembry.
He's not your point guard, but you want him with the basketball because he can score and loves to create.
Straight for St. Joe's. Scoochie Smith taken away inside by Demery. Offensive foul on Miles. To an official timeout.
DeAndre Bembry finding Demery, who finds the net. Very confusing.
It is.
But you have handled it like the true pro that you are.
And you too, sir.
Oh, thank you.
We congratulate one another here on Press Row, always apropos. It's semi-final number 1 with VCU and Davidson to follow from Brooklyn. Smith with the lob. McElvain follows his miss. Newkirk running point for St. Joe's. Back into the hands of Bembry. Papa now. Kyle Davis pushes. Cook into the post for Deshaun Pierre. Traveled.
So right out of the timeout, I love what Archie Miller did. He ran a set in order to get this look where Steve McElwain will come over, set a ball screen, freeze it right there, guys. Now all he's going to do is fire at the basket as they clear out the weak side help. And even though Aaron Brown is there, he's just too small. Big Steve McElwain misses the initial look, then pads his stats, gets a rebound, and puts it in. That's a killer, though, if you're Scoochie Smith. You're like, dude, you blew my assist and helped your own rebound.
Baba now, straight away. A senior from Senegal.
Papa now is a tremendous shooter, and that's hard for Big Steve McElwain to cover.
Deshaun Pierre misses the wide-open layup.
He's a tremendous finisher on the basket. I cannot believe he missed that left-handed layup.
Now off the shot fake, back to Bembry. Scoochie Smith gets the long board. Behind the back, Scoochie picked away by Newkirk. Attacking and a foul on Davis on the floor. Coming up, AT&T at the half. Adam and the gang across the river get you updated on all the scores and the highlights. AT&T at the half.
A couple of wild and crazy guys there. Jerry Palm there.
That's right.
Yeah. And one seats have struggled in. This is an amazing stat. Nothing speaks more to the parity in college basketball than this stat. 14 of the 31 tournaments, the number 1 seed has been eliminated.
Stony Brook wins, so they become the second number 1 seed. But so what does that mean for the NCAA tournament ahead?
It's a great question. I'm glad you asked. I think it means we're less likely than ever to have a 16 seed beat a 1 seed because we just showed you all the You know, Holy Cross is going to take on Michigan State or play in Dayton for the right to play Kansas or one of those teams. The likelihood that a 9th place team out of the Patriot League can take down one of the powers of college basketball, even if there is more parity, there's also more teams, so there's still a great gap.
Less likely that a 16 beats a 1 for the first time.
Common misconception that it'll be more likely because there's more parity from the 1 seed. You know, there's not that much difference between the 1 seeds and 3 seeds or 4 seeds. But the 1 and the 16, because of the upsets, there's a great difference.
A 17-2 St. Joe's run after the slow start for the Hawks. They lead by 9 against the 1 seed here, the Dayton Flyers. Pierre finishes that one.
And Deshaun Pierre, because he missed the first half of the season, he hasn't been sharp all year. And he might not be their best player. Now they just lost the ball.
Straight into the hands of Smith. And Scucci finishes.
And Newkirk just lost the basketball. And then they committed, I think, a lane violation throwing the ball inbounds. Like St. Joe's had complete control of this game. They're up 7. That's a costly turnover. St. Joe's 19-1 when leading at the half this year.
Bembry rejected by McElvain. Dayton with some life in the final minute of the first half.
Well, the folks in Dayton were waiting for Big Steve McElvain last year, and this is what he brings to them. The type of body, length, timing that is very, very rare at this level of college basketball.
And now has the Dayton single season block record. Newkirk resets, 6 to shoot. Off the double high screen. Newkirk step back. And a foul on the rebound underneath.
You asked me why I liked Kimball better than Newkirk. Between the turnover and then he has Bembry posted. Instead, he just uncorks a 3 that barely draws rim. And Deshaun Pierre saying that's a box out. That's how I was taught to do it. But I believe he was displaced.
Impeding and displacement.
He was displaced.
The key words.
Get Isaiah Miles a saddle. He was on the back of Deshaun Pierre.
14 first half points now for Isaiah Miles. The foul, by the way, was on Deshaun Pierre. His first. Miles explosive in the first half. 15 leading St. Joe's back to a 7-point edge. And with 2 personals, Miles is going to take a seat for the last 28.7.
Away from home. Very interesting how free and easy they're playing, despite the fact Dayton has wanted this game since they walked off the floor in Philadelphia with a 9-point loss.
Lucci Smith, last chance for Dayton.
That's good coaching. Coach calls timeout, puts in a half-court play. You go to a zone and see if he has, and that's a
Newkirk fouls.
That's an unintelligent foul. They got him right where you wanted. They did not have a play call on.
It's been a tough end to the first half for Shamar Newkirk.
But remember, Dayton is not in the bonus. I don't believe I saw Phil Martelli ask for that foul.
Smith, kick out, Davis. Cook with the board, the putback, that won't go either. So
team at the half, and he said the main message was to have confidence on offense, to go out there and know in your mind that you're going to finish shots. He felt like they got a lot of opportunities close to the basket that they simply didn't finish. I asked him about the 17-2 run, and he said, we can't worry about stopping them. They're going to get out and run. They're going to score. We have to counterpunch it with some offense. Other things they can do better on defense is just guarding the ball better and working those boards. That's an effort thing, not a skill thing.
And as Allie pointed out to me, Dayton's trailed in 7 of the last 8 first halves. And against the St. Joe's team that's only lost once when leading at the half.
Only regular season meeting, February 7. The Hawks won it 79-70 in Philly. Dayton projected as a 6th seed by Jerry Palm. Projected actually to play here in Brooklyn.
So do you go home? Saturday is another turnover. I don't know. There's just something. This team should be better. It should be better.
And it's been streaky with the 9-game winning streak. Then they lost 3 straight. Now they've won 3 of 4. But up and down for Dayton, and obviously hoping that the up comes back in this second half.
Well, and hoping that it's postseason Dayton, like postseason Joe Flacco, or you creep closer to being elite.
Phil Martelli got win number 400 in the quarterfinal. Come from behind win over GW. The 4-seed St. Joe's Hawks. Dayton the 1 of 3 teams to share the regular season title in the A10. That's an offensive foul on Pollard, drawn by Bembry.
Now, Bembry does a good job of coming over to help. And his feet were inside the semicircle. I don't agree with that call. One, because Bembry wasn't set. His momentum was still taking him out towards Kendall Pollard. And 2, his feet weren't outside the semicircle. Outside of that, he nailed the call.
And it's Miles continues the hot shooting. That's a big foul on Pollard. That's his 3rd. So Kendall Pollard's a question mark. Would he play with the bruised knee? Would he be able to play through that injury? The answer was yes, but now with 3 personal fouls, Pollard on the bench.
And there's Deshaun Pierre missing a dead layup. The problem is going to be, how do they guard Isaiah Miles? How do they guard with Steve McElwain on the floor, who they're going to take and make him guard 18, 20 feet from the basket?
Leave it back into the hands of Miles. This is DeAndre Bembry, the A10 Player of the Year. 9 to shoot, Aaron Brown. Bembry guarded by Smith. Kick to Brown. Back-to-back threes for the Hawks. Largest lead of the game for St. Joe's. Timeout, Dayton.
And I think Vandy, by losing to Tennessee, plays their way out. St. Mary's, on the other hand, lost in the championship game of the Western Conference, West Coast Conference tournament. And I still think they're in. I think Monmouth is in based upon the wins, not just over UCLA and Georgetown, but also playing so well down in Orlando, where Dayton was when they took down Notre Dame.
And factor in without SMU and Louisville, who would be NCAA tournament teams. That's 2 more spots in the field of 68.
4 turnovers last 8 trips for Dayton.
Cook nails the 3 out of the timeout.
That's classic Phil Martelli in switching defenses. Despite the positive momentum, they switch defenses coming out of the timeout. Charles Cook finds the hole in the corner, and Dayton finally gets a clean look.
Aaron Brown kicked back out to Oliva. Shavar Newkirk walks again. Another turnover from Shavar Newkirk.
Charles Cook just working in the back of the defense. Watch him circle all the way through here. Catches, fires, finishes. Quality zone offense from Sean Miller. Archie Miller. Was that Sean?
Right family.
Yeah. We were in Arizona last week.
Right. Foul committed by Oliva, his first.
Dayton, one of the best out-of-bounds, underneath teams statistically at scoring in the country.
Cook into McElwain to the high post. Pierre to McElwain. Off the inbound from the baseline. Isaiah Miles again. Miles 21 in the game now. Tipped away by Newkirk, back into the hands of Cook. Isaiah Miles red hot in both meetings against the Dayton Flyers. 8 to shoot. Back to Scoochie Smith. Spinning at the top, bumped off out the window. Cleared by Brown. Bembry drops it up to a Levi. Wow.
Kyle Davis.
Davis. Foul at the rim. Oliva commits the hard foul. But it was all from Kyle Davis.
Well, first,
a good luck charm?
Yes.
I saw you up there at the podium after the game yesterday with Grandpa. What'd you want to say up there?
I didn't say anything. I mostly just say the Hawk will never die, but my grandfather forgot.
It's so good to see you again, Philip, and the Hawk will never die, guys. Remember that.
No, and now this is a bit of a dilemma because if St. Joe's advances and Davidson advances, it would be Steph Curry's alma mater, Davidson. So, I mean, is Philip going to wear the Steph Curry jersey if St. Joe's is playing Davidson?
Yeah, I don't. Well, but it's a Steph Curry Golden State Warriors with the Chinese writing, by the way, in Mandarin in the front. There's a lot going on there.
That was fun. I mean, that.
Well, of course he remembers when the interview. His cell phone blew up. Everybody was texting him. All my preschool friends were texting me.
Spoken like a man with some experience in that area. Another Dayton turnover. Newkirk pushes. The Hawks. Newkirk bumps. Earns a trip to the line. Fouls on McElvain. That's his second.
Well, that's just free points for St. Joe's. They've scored on 17 points, or scoring off 8 of the 9 turnovers from that St. Joe's been able to steal from Dayton. Dayton turns it over. They make a pay.
Newkirk gets the first here. The sophomore from the Bronx, Cardinal Hayes. Led Cardinal Hayes to their first Archdiocese title in 40 years. Whenever you have the New York guys coming back to play in New York, there is always an edge.
Newkirk he can play at 2 different speeds. He'll just downshift and blow by you, especially to his strong right hand.
St. Joe's the 4 seed. They won the A10 tournament in 2014 as a 4 seed. 12-point edge here. Cook off the failed bomb.
That's the second straight pass from Scoochie Smith that was just off. That one was short. You have to throw it to the right of the rim. Throw it up for Cook and let Cook throw it down. That was the right play call, just a bad pass.
Davis down the baseline. Tough finish, Kyle Davis.
Kyle Davis, we saw the athleticism on that block shot, and again on the drive. The best part about Kyle Davis is he's not a good shooter, and he knows it. He doesn't take shots that he can't make.
Back into the hands of Papa now. Aaron Brown 10 to shoot. Finish. Wow. Boy, it looked like it was displaced a little bit. He still nailed it.
You love that word displaced.
Newkirk gets a steal. Chance to add to the 12-point lead for St. Joe's. Another turnover. Davis run out. Newkirk. No foul. Play on.
Now that one, I didn't think it was a foul because Kyle Davis created the contact. He used his right hand. We'll check it out in the replay. And I don't think that's an offensive foul. That's a play on. But the previous drive, he got clubbed.
McElvain, the block at the rim.
Well, maybe it's just call your own. Nobody told the players.
Smith dumps it on. Pierre, finish. Back comes Dayton. Bembry 9 to shoot. Aaron Brown 5 to shoot. Offensive foul on Aaron Brown.
All right, so let's check out the first Dayton basket. All right, Kyle Davis off a great Scoochie Smith steal. Watch, Davis uses the right hand to create the contact. But then the second one, what a block from big Steve McElwain. Again, Scoochie Smith getting it in transition. Then somehow he finds Deshaun Pierre for the layup.
And then the offensive foul on Aaron Brown, his second.
This game has turned very, very physical. And generally, that's the way that Dayton likes it.
You said before this one started, a war. Ooh, somehow rattles out for Pierre. Back into the hands of Miles. Fouled on the three-point shot by Pierre. 3 free throws coming for Isaiah Miles.
How good has Isaiah Miles been? I guess I have to answer my own question. Really good. 21 points, stretching out the defense to the tune of 3 three-point shots, only 4 attempts. Isaiah Miles, most improved player in the Atlantic 10, second team All A10.
Solid from the stripe as well. He's now 5 for 6 and has 2 more on this trip.
The mid-30s three-point shooter, mid-50s two-point shooter. Tremendous weapon, and they use him the right way. That's the best thing about what Phil Martelli does. Uses him the right way. Plays him some at center, plays him some at power forward, some at small forward, and they move him around defensively and try to kind of probe the defense with what they're running to create open jump shots for him. Very good face-up big man.
24 in the game for Isaiah Miles. St. Joe's back up by 9. McElwain has to go down to get it, taken away by Dimry.
Well, Big Steve McElwain doesn't have great dexterity, but you can't give him a bounce pass. If you're Kendall Pollard, throw it up to the big fella.
11th Dayton turnover. Ten to shoot. Dimry lost the handle. 5 to shoot. Late in the clock. Dimry lost it. Popping out, picks it up. Got the shot off, but Dayton brings it back. Smith creating for Cook. DeAndre Bradbury is going to slow it up. Six to shoot here. Papa now. Pollard has the board. Out there with 3 fouls. Bimmer and Cook get tangled up. And they may take a closer look at this one.
Oh, Bembry tripped him. He went down, he was mad, and he tripped Charles Cook and went over and just apologized for him.
So it is a common foul for...
Missed the initial foul on Charles Cook. We're all good here.
So it has been upgraded to a flagrant 1. So common foul was the initial call on Bembry. After the monitor review, flagrant 1.
Now the question for Dayton is, can they take that next step? They were very, very close to making this a tie ball game. They're down 5, missed a 3, went around and out. Remember the one you said, boy, that ball went as close to in as you can go without going in. And since then, the momentum has stalled out. They were down 11 before that flagrant 1. Now you got a little bit more momentum. You're down 9. I'm sure they got a play call out of a break. Dayton going to try and get a quick look and cut into that lead again.
Cook gets them both. Back to 9. Pollard inside. Around Miles. Miles with a hand in the face, and Pollard still finishes.
And that's for Kendall Pollard. I don't know how tall he is really. Probably really 6'6.5", but really long arms. Just tremendous hands around the basket.
Now, he said before this game it was going to be a question of toughness and how much pain could Pollard handle in that knee. And he's had the answer. Plenty tough.
And Papa now has got Steve McElwain on skates, but he turned down his first open one.
Scoochie Smith spins out, boarded by Kemble. Bembry on Cook again. Step back. Big time from DeAndre Bembry. Smith to a trailing Daryl Davis. Draws a foul on Lamar Kemble.
Here's your A10 player of the year. Yes, he can pass. But oh yeah, when you need a bucket, a little ISO on the wing, a shoulder without extending your arms so you don't get called for the offensive foul. That's about as good a step back as you're going to see at the collegiate level.
Shaking off the flagrant one. Bembry took it right at Cook on the baseline. Foul was on Kemble, his second. 5 team fouls on St. Joe's. Davis in the corner. A pass to McElwain.
That ball hit the corner of the backboard. That was such a bad miss that it became a good miss for Steve McElwain.
Give him the assist. Demery, blocking foul called on Davis.
Daryl Davis, this is a brick. From the corner, beautiful follow through, hits the corner of the backboard, but just falls right to Steve McElwain, who, even if he missed to the weak side, 74%, I think 74% of shots shot in the corner carry him off to the weak side. So even if he would have missed, McElwain's still in position, but boy, that was fortunate.
Great pass.
That's called good coaching right there.
That pass ends up in Doug Gottlieb's hands.
Appreciate it. Official commented on my hands.
And then he stole it away.
He did.
Got to be stronger with the rock.
Spalding TF1000 that they're using.
Charles Cook into the post. McElwain, power dribble. Cook goes over Papanow. Back to a 5-point game. St. Joe's led by as many.
And this type of skill usually at the Atlantic 10 level. If they do, they don't last long here. They usually go off to the NBA.
McElwain, in addition to those 8 points and 6 rebounds, a pair of blocks. Mentioned he now has the University of Dayton single-season blocks record in his first year playing for the Flyers. Sat out last year as a redshirt. An 8-2 run since the flagrant foul on DeAndre Bembry. Miles late in the clock.
Great contest by Big Steve McElwain.
Davis rejected by Papanow. Bembry pull up. Smith pushes. 2 players down to the floor again. Play on. It's Pollard and Miles getting tangled up. While on the other end, Dayton cuts it to 3.
It is getting physical in Brooklyn. And Kendall Pollard just bodying up with Isaiah Miles.
Pollard and Miles are going at it.
Yep.
Now hits the 3. Huge for the senior from Dakar. Eight minutes to go in semifinal number 1.
Just a fatigue pass from Steve McElwain. Now Dayton, if you will, is a team as Dayton picks up full court and tries to get some pressure. That's a team that's not really on the bubble, that they get an automatic bid. and somebody who is already in the field would likely come out of the field, as the committee meeting in New York City has the field relatively set with the exception of 2 or 3 teams as of now.
Wrinkle with the committee sequestered in Manhattan rather than Indianapolis or Kansas City for the...
I love Indy and Kansas City, but if you're going to be sequestered in a hotel room with great takeout, nothing beats New York City.
The takeout capital of the world?
It is the takeout capital of the world.
Ten to shoot for St. Joe's, led by as many as 13, down to 6. 6 to shoot now. Kimball finds a slipping now, rejected by Pollard. And what's the call here? We have a foul with 3 seconds.
Tremendous pass to Papanau. Oh, and there it was. Deshaun Pierre grabbing the jersey of Isaiah Miles. Miles was trying to get the basketball. That was a good call.
And Pierre gets his 3rd. Fresh shot clock after the foul.
You know how physical Dayton is. Trying to play without their hands, but bumping with their bodies.
Bembry and Cook get tangled up again. That looked like an inadvertent elbow from Bembry right to Charles Cook.
I think it was a poke in the eye. Bembry close. He almost poked him in the eye. That probably should have been a foul. And I didn't see where he caught one. Did he catch an elbow? Goes for the basketball, gets ball. I didn't see it.
Something in there, though. Cook's still down.
He reaches in. He does get the basketball. That's why no foul was called. I still don't see where he caught an elbow. Am I missing it? Boom there. Oh, it's a finger. Yeah, finger right in the eye.
And so again, back to the monitor to make sure there's nothing more there. And there was a flagrant one earlier on Bembry, but again, inadvertent there.
Not only inadvertent, but it wasn't an even elbow. It was just a poke in the eye.
So Cook to the end of the Dayton bench. Cook, the junior from Trenton, New Jersey, 2 years at James Madison. First year playing for the Flyers. Meanwhile, St. Joe's 4 to shoot. Kemble loses it in the lane. Smith takes it away and pushes. Down to the post to Sean Pierre. Backing in on net and one.
Deshaun Pierre, without any question, is Dayton's best player, and here's why. You can play him at any of 3 positions. And Deshaun Pierre essentially playing center with this lineup. Turns into Papanau. Papanau had guessed right, switched through, and gets an and one. Such an important part of this Dayton team, going back to last year's run through the first 4 into the 3rd round. Of course, he missed the first half of the year, but now back and finally getting in his rhythm.
Now has an answer. When Dayton cuts it to 3, Papanau nails another triple, his 3rd. Pollard into the corner. Back into the hands of Scoochie Smith. Takes the 3. Off the carom, Isaiah Miles the ball. Kimball nearly lost it. Smith almost got another steal, but he harasses Kimball into the travel.
All right, first let's go back to the last St. Joe's bucket. How did Papanau get so wide open? Kind of simple. He's just going to come over and set a simple screen for DeAndre Bembry. When he does, Kendall Pollard helps, and he helps just a second too long. Remember, Papanau is essentially your center, your 5-man, and he's playing 20 feet from the basket. And Dayton naturally wants to load on the ball, as we showed you before the game. They want to be in help, and St. Joe's using that against them.
Pollard travel. Chance for us to check in with Alec.
Update on Cook. He's still experiencing a lot of discomfort. He can barely look up to watch the game. He's icing his eye right now. They put some eye drops in it. When Coach Miller came over and asked what was going on, they told him that it was a scratch in his right eye. I guess it's a matter if he can see out of it and if he can shake the pain of it.
Dayton's leading scorer on the bench for now. Critical update. Now, again! St. Joe's back up by 9. Foul called on Kemble.
This is the same use of 2 ball screens. You got 2 ball screens up top. Bembry used it once, uses it twice. And Daryl Davis just fakes at it at Papa now at the top of the key, and he knocks in yet another 3.
He has the last 9 points for St. Joe's. Papa now, the senior from Dakar, Senegal, attended the Seed Academy that helps Senegalese players get scholarships in the U.S. And Papa now, a huge success story. He already received his degree last May. And this is not a fluke. He's almost a 40% three-point shooter.
And that's what makes, if you're watching this game and you're wondering, where do I put St. Joe's in the NCAA tournament? If they're playing against teams with traditional big men who can't cover out in the perimeter, good luck. Because between Bembry at your small forward and Papa now, who slips in and gets a nice bucket, very athletic, and they can shoot.
Last 11 for the Hawks from Papa now. Missed all of last year because of a medical condition. His presence felt as a senior in the A10 tournament. Are the Hawks team that won it all as a 4 seed 2 years ago. And now the 4 seed Hawks trying to take out the top seed Dayton. The Flyers are done. Pierre hits the 3 to pull him within 6. Brown misses the 3. Pierre pulls it. Deshaun Pierre attacking right at now. Loose ball. Pulled away by Papa now. Bembry lost it out of bounds. St. Joe's keeps it up by. Analyzed to perfection. Papa now 14 points in the game. Isaiah Miles has 24 for St. Joe's, and the A10 Player of the Year, DeAndre Bembry, 5 points. But setting things up for his teammates, and now with less than 4 to go, here goes Bembry. Inside! Just his 3rd bucket of the game puts St. Joe's back up by 8. Pierre. Kyle Davis with 9 to shoot, bumped by Aaron Brown.
Well, this is what makes him the player of the year. In addition to the passing skills, you mentioned only 5 points. He catches, he ISOs, he takes his time. Cook trying to not foul. Cook just checked back in the game after getting poked in the eye. So yes, he can pass, but you have to be able to score the ball in order to command a double team or command help in order to create those lanes for passing.
Davis, the junior from Chicago, misses the front end. Brown with 10 to shoot. Bembry denied. 4 to shoot. Brown and finishes. The former West Virginia Mountaineer, Aaron Brown. Scoochie Smith drops it off for Pierre.
That wasn't bad either. Dayton's NCAA tournament spot is secure.
St. Joe's, question mark. Right now projected an 8 seed. This would be big. Flies to the rim. Offensive foul called on Pollard.
All right, Kendall Pollard's had a bad knee. And he has 3 personal fouls. Pollard just tries to emphatically slam it home. And I'm going to tell you why that's not a charge. Because you have to have your feet set before he goes into the movement of raising the basket. Now, he lost the ball anyway. He wasn't going to dunk it. But that should have been a block because you have to be set before he goes into the motion of lifting the basketball up towards the basket. That is under the term apoplectic in the dictionary. That would be what Archie Miller is right now, and I think rightfully so.
And that's the 4th on Pollard.
It's 2:14 to go in the game. It's not like it's 12:14 to go, but it's still 4th personal foul on an important part of your team.
And 3 of the 4 fouls on Pollard have been offensive.
Aaron Brown, what an incredible move he put on Pollard last time he had the basketball. Excuse me, I think he put it on Deshaun Pierre. You mentioned the transfer from West Virginia. Bob Huggins put him in the doghouse because he said he didn't play hard. Loafing in an exhibition game. Transferred, sat out, essentially missed 2 years, and he has been an incredible cog to this St. Joe's team.
6th man last year, his first as a Hawk. He started every game this year. And St. Joseph's the 4 seed, a 10-point edge on the 1 seed Dayton Flyers, who entered the day projected as a 6 seed. Pollard gets the dunk, 8-point game, 2:02. Timeout granted to Papa now on the baseline. So something we call that.
Yeah.
Papa now 11 straight to stem that 10-2 Dayton run. A career high 14 points for the senior from Senegal who missed all of last season. Papa now. Dayton hounding Bembry in the backcourt. Newkirk gets it across. St. Joe's in the quarterfinal came from 16 down in the first half to beat GW, another bubble team in the A10. Biggest comeback of the year. Win 400 for Phil Martelli. And now in the semis, Newkirk gets the layup. They're a minute 29 away from advancing to the A10 title game as a 4 seed for the 2nd time in 3 years. Foul called on Pierre. St. Joseph's making the most of their opportunities here at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I thought they were fairly solidly in based upon beating Dayton, beating Temple on the road, another bubble team. Outside of that, though, there wasn't a lot of meat to all those wins. And they survived GW yesterday here.
Coming up next, our panel of experts in the studio break down all the latest from the conference tournament play inside college basketball. Bracket Week presented by Kubota. Right here on the home, 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
But you beat Dayton on a neutral floor. A Dayton program that has earned the respect they're given nationally, and even without Deshaun Pierre, beat Vanderbilt, have other big wins in the non-conference part of the slate. How about Papa now? What a game he had. Tremendous.
From Senegal to St. Joe's, earned his degree, sat out all of last year, and bounced back in a career game in the semifinals. Inside, Pierre draws a foul, stops the clock with 1:06.
St. Joseph's.
Now for Dayton, now look, they're down 12, and they're not going to stop competing. They're not going to stop playing. But let's assume, always a dangerous thing, but let's assume They lose this, they go home. It's a Dayton team that has all its pieces together, had won 3 in a row, and seemed to, on some level, figure it out against Richmond yesterday. But in addition to shooting the basketball poorly, they turned it over a bunch and really, really struggled to guard the perimeter shooting big men of the Hawks.
This would be only the second game that Dayton has lost this year when both Kendall Pollard and Deshaun Pierre played. And Deshaun Pierre is suspended for the first semester by the university, not by the school, but not by the team, rather, by the university. Pollard battled those knee problems, so they were 14-1 entering today with both of those guys on the floor. St. Joe's turns it over. Minute to go, 10-point game. Davis missed, big rebound from Bembry.
An awful press break there from, as Aaron Brown just threw it to nobody. St. Joe's has a timeout. That would have been a good time to use that last timeout. You don't want to give a team a chance, but Dayton team that last year had to go to Dayton, play in Dayton, not be in their own home locker room. In an incredible comeback against Boise State, won that game and then went down the road and played 2 remarkable games in Columbus.
Dayton last year, they started 1-5 in the A10 and then rallied, make the second straight NCAA tournament after the Elite 8 run in 2014. And again, Dayton's place in the NCAA tournament is secure.
They did their due diligence out of conference and then finished with the finishing kick in conference. That VCU win at home in overtime on senior night secured their spot in any conversation of them being on the bubble.
Pierre hits the 3, timeout Dayton, 9-point game.
Who the best teams are and who the bottom teams are, and have the best teams play against the best teams. But sometimes you have teams with gaudy records that don't really have the resume to back it up. And the wrong combination of such can really hurt you. Boy, that's a bad throwing spot.
Newkirk trapped.
Now there's
possession.
It's a jump ball, but there should have been a 5-second call. There's no 5-second now on the dribble, but there is 5-second when you're holding the basketball.
Held ball, closely guarded, 5 seconds. That's what Archie's asking about. So again, held ball is the call.
So there's, I think they just didn't count on time. But you can dribble as long as you want. You just can't dribble in the backcourt for more than 10 seconds.
And now Newkirk
lost it.
Loose ball picked up. Davis trying to leave Dayton back. Scoochie Smith. Tap out. Loose ball controlled by St. Joe's. That may have been the chance.
Well, they had it. There was one. We talked about the 3. They're down 5. It went around and out. They had one from Daryl Davis about 3 possessions ago. They get another steal. St. Joe's has not looked good against this Dayton press. And again, in and out. Can't miss a shot any closer than that type of miss.
And Aaron Brown will have a chance to all but ice it. 2 shots. Back to a 10-point lead. St. Joe's 2 years ago, 24 wins, NCAA tournament. By winning the A10 tourney as a 4 seed, it was only the second NCAA tournament appearance since the Elite 18 for Phil Martelli in 2004.
And I know that the committee has a lot of other things on their minds, but if you play on a Sunday, you shouldn't play on a Thursday. Shouldn't play on the Thursday. We can tell you as broadcasters, it's hard to do Selection Sunday tomorrow on CBS and turn around and do the games on Thursdays, let alone as a player, especially a St. Joe's team. You play 3 and 3 nights, you get home, get some clean underwear, you shouldn't have to hit the road the next day.
Smith draws a foul, stopping the clock again with 26.7. We talk about Phil Martelli and St. Joe's and the NCAA tournament runs, most notably that Elite 8 team that was a 1 seed in 2004. But you go back to 1995. He's coaching high school at Bishop Kendrick. He gets the St. Joe's job. The next year, NIT title game with St. Joe's. Second season as head coach of the Hawks. Sweet 16.
And you mentioned the 04 team that lost in the Elite Eight. I was at that game. That was in East Rutherford, New York. And, of course, they took on Oklahoma State. John Lucas hits the famous three-point shot. That was an unbelievable team he had. They ran through the A10. They lost their first A10 tournament game to then A10 member Xavier, who also went to the Elite Eight.
Phil Martelli got win number 400 in dramatic fashion yesterday with a come-from-behind victory over GW. Win number 401 would put St. Joe's in the title game here in Brooklyn as a 4 seed.
Oh, great play. That's a foul on St. Joe's.
Yes, it is.
St. Joe's keeps throwing it into the coffin corner. You can do it, but if you catch it, you got to get out of there quickly with the dribble. They keep throwing. The coffin corner is right here, where you have the sideline and the baseline meet. And so if a trap comes, you essentially had defenders on all 4 sides, and St. Joe's only has 1 timeout left, which, by the way, you can use.
2 shots for Cook.
Get it and get it in quick, but center the basketball. Get it out of that corner.
Dayton trying to pull off a miracle, but with some of the mistakes that the Hawks have made in the past couple of minutes, you never know. Back to the other end, it'll be Miles going to the line, the foul on Scoochie Smith. That's the second on Smith. Double bonus already, both sides.
Well, for Dayton, when you look at them in your NCAA bracket, you have to, one, take into account it's a team that has a tremendous amount of NCAA tournament experience. It's an older team, as you have players like Charles Cook, who's a redshirt because he was a transfer. And it's a team that can kind of cross-match you in creative ways, putting Kendall Pollard at center at times and Deshaun Pierre at power forward. 2 players who can face up as well as score in the low post. But they did not shoot it well, and they struggled to defend out on the perimeter with their big men today.
5 for 20 from 3-point for Dayton today. 6 for 21. 3 here again, Dayton. A glimmer of hope for the Flyers with St. Joe's. Turnovers and fouls in the closing minutes. Back into now. It is tie up. Possession to Dayton with 15 seconds.
I'm telling you, Kyle Davis, that guy can play in the NFL when he's done. Look at the strength, the hand. He just takes the ball. It's my ball.
In the NFL?
Yeah. Great athlete. Super strong. Good size. Can't be a wide receiver in the NFL. Throw it up to him. He's going to go get it.
15 seconds, Dayton ball. Pollard backing in. Pollard and one with 12 seconds. Dayton isn't done.
So there's a company called Synergy, Carter, and Synergy they rate everything you do statistically. And this team is in the 95th percentile in scoring out of underneath, out of bounds. They're incredible. Some are long plays, some are short plays. That's a simple throw into Kendall Pollard and let him do some work.
Pollard can't get the free throw. Bembry back into the hands of Cook. Lost it out of bounds. Dayton will keep it. It's out of bounds off St. Joe's. A 5-point game with 8 seconds. With 54 seconds left, St. Joe's led this game by 12, 78-66. Now Archie Miller's Flyers have a chance. Another inbound opportunity for the Flyers. And to Kyle Davis. Lost the handle, got it back. Bembry gets the block. Dayton ball, but now just 1.9.
Now, I think now it's like now you're done. Now I think what great fight from Dayton.
Smith quickly into Pierre. Gets it. but St. Joe survives by that